Today we're gonna get a Phantom 3 running for aerial photography. So the entire principle behind what I have to do here is that I bought a bunch of these off auction. Now the problem with the one that I have that's going to take our aerial photography is the little arm that's down here. See that? This is overloaded because the motor can't get to the proper position. And so what we're gonna do is take a different arm, which supports our camera, and we're gonna change out this little motor right here. And that way, when it tries to tilt, it can do it to the appropriate position. So it's just that little knob that's there. It's not getting to where it wants to. It uses a current to push it back and forth. And so we have to replace the board that actually sits right here. And then put the whole thing back together, make sure none of our ribbon cables get damaged. All of these little things are super, super sensitive. If you pinch one of these, it's done for. And when we do that, our gimbal will be able to self-stabilize so that way we can take photography and videos and it will be able to adjust as we move. So let's get into it. First thing, you have to disassemble the entire control arm. Unfortunately, there's a center control board which is actually housed in the drone. It communicates with the ESC, the main electrical signals, and that does the motors, it tells it what to do. But basically, the big control board is going to do the macro movements and adjust the entire arm, whereas the control board that we have to get to, which adjusts the motor, that gimbal specifically to stabilize, is a step lower, and it does the micro movements. So they communicate, but they do very different jobs. They are connected by that center ribbon cable, and it's vitally important that it's not pinched and that it's exactly the same. It's only meant to run exactly how it's supposed to, and it doesn't have any other extra length, any wiggle room. So you just have to be very careful that that is your utmost priority, because if you break that, you need a whole new ribbon cable, and that's just a disaster. When ultimately all you have to do is get to the back plate on the control arm and flop out for an identical board. The motor is actually fine. Mechanically, it can get to where it needs to, but the control board in my situation was not sending it the right signals to be able to do that. And there's also a center pin in there, which you have to make sure is aligned properly. If it's not exactly facing north or up, vertical, whatever, then it's gonna be tilted one way, and it's never gonna be able to reach the full side. That's what I thought the original problem was, but really we just needed to flop out the control board, and the main control board was good. Once you get all the way down to it and you disassemble it, just make sure that you put everything back together exactly the way you found it. Like I said, all these parts and pieces aren't meant to be moved around. I mean, one time I disassembled an entire smartphone and I ended up with 3 screws left over. That phone didn't make it too much longer. But if you're careful, you use a magnetic plate and you make sure that you have all your ducks in a row, that's really the most important part, is staying organized throughout this entire process, and also knowing that you have the right parts for the job. Done our entire repair on the DJI Phantom 3. And so what that means is that our gimbal arm there that holds our camera, what it's gonna do upon startup, instead of locking and saying that it can't find a stable position, what it's gonna do is it's gonna stabilize properly, and it's gonna aim the right way, and as it flies, it's gonna self-stabilize and be able to fix itself. And so that's all it does. Upon startup, we just needed it to stop clicking. So essentially the motor was overloaded because it couldn't get to the correct position. So we had to rechange the bearing in there. And now you can see as I move it, it is trying to self-correct. It just doesn't fully know where it is. But that is how you fix a gimbal on pretty much anything, is you have to go after the servo motor that creates the tilt to self-stabilize. And so now that you know how to do that, you can do it on pretty much anything. Keep learning.